Welcome into another Locked On MLB Insider Report. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens, joined by our MLB Insider, Gordon Beckham, and we're reacting to the new World Series champions. The Braves have taken home their first championship in quite a while. You kind of called it from the beginning, and this game wasn't overly close by any means, but what did you see from the Braves during this series, and how impressed were you in their efforts?
Yeah, I think that the Braves really just continued doing what they were doing. I mean, they were the hottest team, kind of coming in the playoffs. Their second half was amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about it, but they kind of shocked people with taking the Brewers down in basically 4 games, and then beat the Dodgers, who everybody thought would be in the World Series again. And so you just kind of saw this building, and the first batter of the World Series, it's a home run, and so Lair, it might be the MVP. I haven't seen who ended up winning it, but anyways, just that momentum kind of kept going, throughout the playoffs, and you could just tell they were a team of destiny. They were a team that was wanting to win. They were a tight knit group, and everybody was pulling for each other. You could really see that, and the Houston also was doing the same thing. But the Braves just had something special. And I think before the series, I actually said that they're going to win in 6, and it actually came true, which never happens. But it happened here. They just were a team that was, moving in a really good direction against a team like Houston that was playing well. But the Braves they came out and did it. I mean, they lost Morton the first game, and they didn't blink an eye.
They really were coming into this hot. So were the Astros, though. For them to be able to be so dominant over them in this series, I mean, you've covered this team, the Braves, throughout the year. Can you kind of lay out, this wasn't the team that they were in the midsummer around July. So kind of how did Atlanta become the team that won the World Series?
Right. So I spent some time covering this team. I did some pre and post games for them. I was around their clubhouse and understood kind of how they were ticking. And I was covering the team at the end of July. And people were asking me, what do you think? And I'm like, I just don't think they're a playoff team. Now, this is before they basically made all the trades. I think they had traded for Jock Peterson at that point, but they hadn't made the trade for Soler, Rosario, or Duvall at that point. And so they were not a team. And speaking to Brian Snicker the other day in the NLCS, he just said, listen, we weren't a playoff team. And then all of a sudden we got these other guys into the lineup, and it was just a different team. So the reason that the Braves won the World Series is because of those trades. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Their pitching staff remained basically the same. I mean, they had the same guys that for most of the year in their pitching staff that made it happen. But their outfield changed the game and is the reason they won the World Series, because without these guys, I mean, you just look back at all the things that Rosario did, Peterson did, Duvall had some big games, and then Soler in the World Series. I mean, these guys are the reason they won the World Series. I mean, Freddie Freeman had a great series. He had a great playoffs, but he's not the reason they won the World Series. The reason they won is because of the trades that Alex Anthopoulos made in the end of July to get their team a lineup that could compete. And what happens when you have guys that are veteran players that can go up to bat and really make the opposing pitchers grind, the opposing staff, it just wears them down. If they always have to make good pitches and you have veteran players, then it just makes them be that much more fine for that much, for that longer, I mean, they have to be really good for a long time to beat this team. And this team just came together. I mean, Duvall's never played better than he has in a Braves uniform. He's gone all over. He hasn't had as much success, but every time he's in a Braves uniform, he's just, lights out. So just a lot of guys contributed, but the reason they won this World Series is because of the outfield. I mean, they lost Acuna earlier in the year, and everybody's like, all right, this just isn't going to be our year. They were up and down. They weren't a playoff team. And then all of a sudden it just flip-flopped, and they just went on a roll and didn't ever look back.
Ton of new faces doing work, great front office work to put that roster together to be as successful as they have been. But we did mention Freddie Freeman. There are some faces that have been around for a while. What does this win mean to them and kind of for the future of the organization?
Yeah, Freddie, he's a legend in that organization. He'll probably retire his number one day. I mean, for what he's done. I couldn't help but think that they don't make the World Series and win the World Series this year without players like me that got him all these really good draft picks at the top of the draft. But Freddie Freeman is a great teammate, a great player. You know, I think that he's got the best approach in baseball, and it's not even close. What he does on a day in, day out basis, he's so talented. His swing is so talented. His approach is so talented, and also disciplined, that he just never wavers from that. And I couldn't be happier for a guy that I've played with, but also a guy that really is a great face for baseball. I mean, this guy loves playing. He's really good at it. He's done it for a long time. And I know that he and Brian Snitker are just really, really excited to bring this championship back to Atlanta. And knowing Snit, this is a long time coming, because nobody gave him a chance for about 50 years. And he got a chance, and he's just been amazing at the helm of the Braves. A great person, also a great manager. He makes all the right moves, and couldn't be happier for those two that I've actually spent some time with.
I mean, not much more to say. They were just dominant
They
throughout.
were.
They really were. Obviously, hopefully not the last we see of Freddie Freeman in Atlanta. He's going to be a free agent, so could be, but we're not quite sure yet.
They need to pony up. They need to pony up to keep him there. I can't imagine that they can let him go now.
They've made it difficult. He's going to want that money now for sure.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of you guys tuning in for our MLB Locked On Insider reports throughout the season. Again, congratulations to the Braves on their World Series championship. For our insider, Gordon Beckham, I'm Kainani Stevens. Locked On, your team every day.